Hello guys, today I have not made an upgrade, however I have made a sort of game with this framework just to demonstrate what you can actually do with it, and I'll be doing this more and more often as it goes bigger and better. And so it's a very simple game. It's 1.3.0. It's a game where you're a green square going around eating the other randomly non-green colored squares, and there's 1,500 of those other squares, and when you touch them with the green thing, they disappear. They don't die, but they fade out. They don't draw anymore. And so I'm going to show you what this game does, and I'll do a quick run through the source. So right here we have 1,500 little blobs. You're the green thing. This responds to W, A, and S and D. And space teleports you randomly. And so, as you can see, if we restart that, you start off really small and fast, and you grow slower and bigger as you eat more. And so, as you can see, we're going much slower now, and we're also much bigger than we started. And so, right here, we've gone, as you can see, when we hit them, they fade out. We've 1320 about out of 1566, or 87%. And so, and some of them go almost invisible, almost, it feels like. More of them than normal. And they're all changing color just a little, which means that, it's kind of hard to keep track of one single one in the very beginning. You know, it's hard to keep track of one. And they all kind of go to the corners, which I like. You can just hang out in one of the corners once you get big and fat, and yeah. And so this is a game I've built. I'm going to, and you get the idea. Once if we do one of them, say, die, mister. Then I grew, and it says game over. You got 1 out of 1 blobs, and so yeah. So the way this game works is we have n entity taggables and 1 entity tagger. So tagger just responds to this space, and it responds to A, D, W, and S. And it draws as a green rect. And the taggable is a little more complex, but not by much. So we have some color change code right here. We just choose a random column, get a random number between -10 and 10, add that to the column if it doesn't make the column go out of bounds, and reset, and that's the new color. And we n is 1, so we change our velocity slightly. We do bounding, which means if we're going at the outside of the edge at 10 velocity, our velocity is going to reset, as our position is going to reset to the very edge, and our velocity is going to slowly creep the other way, which means they kind of swing out, and if we could see it. And here in collide method, we have other instance of entity tag. If and stopped is a boolean, have we been tagged or not, kind of. So if the other is an entity tagger and we're not stopped, then we cast it into an entity tagger. This number, which is 1,500 over 2075, there's a 1/76th chance of the block right now with n is 1,500. 1/76th chance of the green, if the tagger growing in in 10 width and 10 height, and a half chance for it to lose 2 pixels per frame speed. We set it to stopped, and here if there's a 1/52nd chance that we will spawn 2 more as long as our width is more than 8, and we spawn 2 more. And yeah, so I'm going to play this whole game through with 1,000 and just see how it goes. We got a little lucky here. As you can see right at the very top, there's 1028, which means that the blobs have spawned 28 extra little blobs, which is expected. Generally, I find it somewhere around that number when I run it. And yeah, I'm almost there. Coming back here, blob. Hey, I got it. Yeah, so it's 34 extra blobs is normal about with 1,500. The reason they all go to the corners is because once the velocity gets in a certain direction, it can't really stop unless it's very unlikely for it to stop, so it just keeps growing. And eventually, a velocity is bounded by the rectangle will always go to the corner, because it's either going top left, top right, you know. Everything, if any of the fields is like more than 10 away from 0, it doesn't matter on negative or positive, then it's going to accumulate at the corners, which is easier. It's easier to see that though in real life when there's quite a lot of them. Yeah, okay, hurry up, blob. Killed you. So right here, they're all most of them go for this corner, because for the bottom right corner, because that's where most of them started. But any of them can, but they can really go anywhere. And one of the interesting things that I'd like to point out is when an entity fades out, it is not dying. It is only refusing to interact in the Clyde method and not drawing itself. So if we show the velocity, see all those blue specks? We don't call super.update, and so therefore we're not, the blobs that are frozen or stopped just stay there. If we turn this to true, they just stay there, as you can see. They're not calling super.update, so their velocity means nothing to them. And they just stay there with velocity without doing anything about it. And so, as you can see, these are all of the blobs that I've stopped. They've generally been in the paths that I've taken. You know, for example, I went from top left to bottom right, then I kind of doodled around in the top right, and I just ran down to the bottom left for a bit. Two more. Last one. I did it. And so next update, they will be able to be killed, which just basically removes them from the DG entity list and leaves them for the Java garbage collector. But before that, we're going to have a lot of dead non-interacting entities. And so if we turn this off, it looks good as normal, right? Yeah, and so This space just does a random TP if it's held down. And so, last one. I hope this guy doesn't, yep. He didn't spawn little blobs. And so, yeah, that is this game. It will be in GitHub. And thank you for watching. Bye.